Work session on the Tuesday, October 28th, 2025. Councilman Eddie Mitchell, you lead us in a invocation. All right, stand with us.
Stand if you're able to. Father God, we come to you today. Thank you for another day's journey. We ask that you bless us while we're here. Bless this council. Bless the members. Bless this city and its employees. And bless the city of Odessa so that it may become beautiful and stronger and just strive as best as we can. Amen.
Amen. All right, first order of business is discuss an Odessa movie. Breckman, here. Oh, there you are. You guys come on up, both of you. Just introduce yourself to council and tell us about our movie.
Mayor, council, how you doing? I'm Brecken Hager. Both sides of my family come from Odessa, so it's just truly an honor to be before y'all today and present this idea we have.
Good morning, Mayor and Council, or good afternoon rather. My name is Ariana Barado. I'm Brecken's partner in the movie business and studied statistics before entering this field.
First off, so cuneiform.
Breckman, grab that mic and just go right. Perfect, thank you.
All right. Okay, so that's my company, Cuneiform. I started it about 5 years ago. We principally produce and distribute feature films. So a little side history on it. We also, as well, we do a little bit on the blockchain side of things. We also sell what they call NFTs as movie tickets. In the past, I've made a Sundance award-winning director more money selling those NFT tickets than Amazon. A little bit about myself. I was a captain at the University of Texas football. I've been making movies my whole life. I later finished my football career. I went on a blockbuster production called 12 Mighty Orphans. Got to work with Robert Duvall, Martin Sheen. I then did about a $3 million horror film that went to Sundance, which is big for the independent feature film business. And then just recently I was able to direct my own feature film, and it was about Pecos, and we had a lot of success with it. And that's why we're here today. And Ariane, and I'm also the CEO of Cuneiform and director and producer of all the movies we make.
Hello, so
Just bend it down a little bit.
I'm the COO of Cuneiform. Like I briefly mentioned, I have a background in applied statistics and research methods, so my skills come in keeping things organized, just executing on our plans and strategies, and helped alongside Brecken producing and editing Born in Denver, which is funny enough about Pecos, Texas.
All right, we'll get into this. So Odessa movie, this is really a dream of mine to be able to capture y'all's story at such an exciting time where every other news I see is about the Permian Basin or how many great things y'all are doing. We really like to focus on positive stories, so there won't be any negative tension, or we're not looking for any dirt. We're just looking to portray all the great things that you're doing. We'd also, need y'all to star in the movie as well. So we can get to the next slide. So right now, we have this big deal with Fox Nation, and it includes a Texas trilogy. So we've already gotten the Pecos movie completed, and they loved that movie so much. We've been talking about this idea, as you know, there's also Odessa down the street, and then of course Abilene. And what Odessa is to me and Ariana, and for really my whole life, it just represents the American dream. I feel like this is a place that truly portrays, not just the cowboy spirit or the wildcatters, but that anything's possible here. And there's a real apolitical attitude, and I just love to learn more about this community. And then, Abilene, they've agreed to be a part of this trilogy, the mayor and the hot board vice president. So they have that Stargate technology. So I don't know if you've noticed, Fox Business have been doing a lot of stories about the Permian Basin, a lot of stories about Stargate. So that's where this trilogy comes from. So our offering is we would obviously produce a feature film that's the cinematic quality of capturing Odessa, over the years or however long it takes. It takes a lot of time, but we've already had, and I saw she's on the agenda. We've got Sandra and Kirk Edwards, both have agreed to be in the film. We need y'all to agree to be in it as well. We'd also handle y'all's red carpet, which is a great time. It's a community celebration. Usually would be a weekend celebration for Odessa. We would enter into film festivals. So let's say we're really close with the director of Cannes Film Festival in France. We would, work with them, and we'd like to bring everyone here from the council into a villa. Big dreams, right? But that's the kind of idea. We'd also take care of film festivals, and then PR, Cuneiform. We run all of our own marketing, all of our PR. So really what a movie does for y'all is just, you're going to get press every week. Even while making the film, there's just constant things to highlight. And last time we were talking to Mayor Hendrick about one of y'all's awesome new hot projects, the biggest jackrabbit, and I just think that would be so cool to capture as well, and get some press about that. We also take care of all marketing and distribution, and really it doesn't matter how good your movie is in today's time. It's all about your marketing dollars and your distribution partner. It's really, and your relationships. So like I said, we have a deal with Fox Nation, and that's why we're here coming to you, because we think this is an awesome opportunity as well. What they offer, not only 2 million subscribers on their new streaming platform, but they would give the chance the mayor, any city council members, the city manager, anyone willing to go on, let's say, Hannity or bring the Will Kane show here by partnering with a Fox News, whether we like them or not. Look, I'm indifferent on it, but they loved our Pecos movie. They love the Permian Basin. They love the attitude out here. I don't know who we vote for, where we stand politically, just as a business decision. They offer a ton of viewers. They offer pennies on the dollars for y'all to go and promote your city. And I think on a daily basis, they have around 6 million viewers. And fun fact about them, actually more Democrats watch Fox News than they do on CNBC or CNN, which would be, HBO Max. So that's it. But as well as Fox Nation, we're also allowed with them to do a standalone release through Apple and Amazon to give people more options to see the movie. So it wouldn't just exclusively live on Fox Nation. You'd be able to rent it on Apple TV, Google Play and Prime Video. And I didn't put this on here because I just, under promise, over deliver is how I live my life. But, on the Pecos movie, I was really trying to get a deal with Disney. They had Pecos Bill. My pledge brother in college was Max Iger, Bob Iger's son. We're really great. One of our mentors is Chad Oman. He produced Top Gun. He just did F1. So we've got the relationships to at least pitch this project to Disney. And the Disneys of the Netflix of the world right now, they're actually under a lot of scrutiny. A lot of people are canceling their subscriptions. People are kind of revolting against the content they're choosing. And we feel like apolitical, positive content, especially reality. Reality is really big right now in the film business. We feel like we still have a shot with Disney. We'll at least present it to them. As we do have a deal with Fox Nation, before even any film is captured, we're going to come to y'all with a distribution deal, and y'all will have the option to choose. This, like I said, is a community project where we all work together as a team. Is there anything else Fox Nation offers? Oh yeah, could we go back one slide and just, back button. And then could you click the marketing and distribution? There's a trailer of the page, just so y'all could see the type of movie we make. And it's not gonna pop up. Okay, maybe in your free time. Anyways, we also in this Pecos deal, we partnered with X for social media. So Elon Musk's platform, once Twitter, we were able to partner with their X Movies account, their official account, and they would always post about us. They've got over 6.6 million followers. So, there's a strategy to do both traditional and, social media marketing as well. So our recommendation to the city is we want the city to be first in. It doesn't have to be the whole amount right now, but there's no point to make a movie under $1 million. We recommend $2 million just because you've got it all, the majority of it goes into marketing, and we'll show it in the next slide. And we know y'all got y'all Centennial coming up. That's so exciting, and I think the time is now. For if there's ever a time to make an Odessa movie, it's with this leadership. It's with everything that's going on in the business world and all things, but we just want to capture the past, present, and future of Odessa, respect the tradition and values, but also where are y'all going into the future. And then, we got a little glitch on here, but we memorized it. So the budget breakdown's really simple. So, 10% of $2 million, we'd get $200,000 to get started right away. And what's that paying for? Well, luckily for y'all, in such a cutthroat business, film is really hard, but and we take care of everything. We take care of producing, we take care of editing. We actually edit the movie ourselves. We distribute the film, we market it. Do we pay people in production to come in with their cameras and all those? Absolutely, we have great relationships. And then post-production, we pay for that as well. We used an Emmy award-winning company in Austin last on the Pecos movie. So you're looking at the production of the film itself and the post-production is $500,000, and then the rest is marketing. So $1.3 million of that $2 million spend, it's just a marketing budget. Obviously, we'd request this from the hot funds, as it is promotion through the arts, and it allows us to film and market and promote all of your ongoing hot board projects in a positive light, and really get y'all in front of millions of people. Okay, so as I just said, first step in a project like this is we have to partner together. We've got to work together every step of the way. These films, these movies, it's a lot of hard work. Really, a lot of the work is before any of the films even shot, getting the distribution, marketing plan, getting all the people that are going to be in it, creating the shot list, of course, picking a great city council meeting that y'all would want to be in a movie. Whenever y'all have a stacked agenda of things you're really proud of, that's when you'd want to bring in the film crew. With our last Pecos movie, we had so many successes. One is, as a tool, we were able to attract new investments, new opportunities for them, and then people that were already working in Pecos when they saw the movie, they were just so excited that their employees were working there, that they lived there, and were doing a lot of hard work. And we lived in Pecos for 3 years and enjoyed every bit of it. But that would be first step, is we'd have to partner with the city, and then we'd need to start pre-production and do all the things we're talking about with the ad placements, festivals, influencers, all that stuff. Okay, so short-term and long-term impact of a movie. The short-term momentum includes your community will get excited. There will be a sense of pride here that, yes, Odessa has been chosen for a movie, and who's going to be in it, and what opportunities are going on right now that can be spotlighted, that, we can release a press article every week. Okay, it's this project, it's what you're doing here. There will be a buzz around town when you got the film camera crews, and even beforehand when we're really starting to investigate and what we're going to show off. The long-term impact of a movie, you pay for it's a big cost up front. There's no doubt about that. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of work. But then at the end of it, you're going to have a billboard for the foreseeable future of Odessa. The movie doesn't go away. It's not going to go away on Fox Nation. It's not going to go away on Apple and Amazon. Anyone at any moment can watch this movie and be like, hey, I want to visit Odessa, or hey, I want to go move here, or hey, this is where I want to start my business. So there really is a long-term impact to be said about creating a movie about the cities. Like I said before, we're able to promote current city projects and set the standard for future hot projects. We were incredibly transparent. We'd love to work with y'all and present every step of the way. One thing you don't really expect when making a movie, and this happened, and I don't mean to bring up Pecos so much, but we had 3 cast members in the film pass away before the movie was released. And they were awesome people, but their legacy lives on. And, we were at one of their celebrations of life, and, the family were watching. They had pictures of the movie. They were watching it before it and after it, and we were just able to capture them in a great light. And it's just an honor to be able to get people in real time. You never know about tomorrow. So the roadmap, obviously partner with the city through First and Funding. We begin pre-production, filming, post-production, all that. The red carpet premiere, marketing and distribution, and then in phase 4, it's released to the world. And I will say too, the red carpet premiere here is going to be unbelievable. Being at the Marriott, giving back to the hot board a little bit, coming out here and staying there. The red carpet is an awesome time to bring in celebrities, press, really throw a great party, as well as get local business leaders to sponsor it and get some big musical talent and whatever we decide. And then as well as really what's on our mind right now is Odessa's hot. Odessa is unbelievably hot, and we want to get to New York as soon as possible, to Fox News headquarters, get that deal, bring it to y'all, give you all the ins and outs. It really is pennies on the dollars when you partner with them, and a lot of those marketing dollars will be going to them. But that's where the next step after today is. We want to land this partnership and get started on the distribution. There's contact info for myself, Ariana and I's email, our social media, and then references. You're welcome to call Charles Lino, the Pecos city manager. We love him. He was unbelievable, still is in this process. Amberetta and Pecos hot board president, and Jonathan Harshman at Chevron. So Chevron at our red carpet, they were the keynote speaker, Jonathan was, and they give us the largest donation of any sponsorship to anyone they've ever given, because they loved a red carpet in Pecos so much. They thought it was a brilliant idea to get the community together. So you all are welcome to ask them any questions. And I don't know if you have anything to add. I know you got a big agenda today.
That was the gist of it. Brecken and I just want to iterate how excited and honored we are to even be before you and present this massive idea. I know the hot board, there are 9 criteria that a project would have to meet to be considered for funding. I do believe that we meet nearly all of them, if not all of them, in one way or another. So I just ask that you'd consider on those grounds. Additionally, everything we film, we're more than happy to share it with you. We've checked out your website and the awesome footage that's spotlighted when you're first checking it out. Mayor Hendrick on there, just the community of Odessa. We would like to do everything we can, including the movie, but volunteering, just becoming a part of this community. Brecken's family has a long history here, and I've heard just so much positive stories and memories about Odessa. I'd be very proud and honored to experience it myself.
Yeah, and to back that up, there is no way to make this movie unless we completely integrate with the community. So we'd obviously live here, volunteer, and be available at any moment's time. So, and this is my dream movie, for whatever it's worth. I really want to make an Odessa movie, and I want y'all to tell y'all's story. It's y'all's story, and I just think the timing is perfect with, whether it's the market value of reality content, the partnership we already have lined up before making it, or that we're coming off fresh of a similar movie. So we're open to any questions, or if y'all have to get to the docket too, we understand. So.
Brecken, if we want to watch the Pecos movie, where do we go to watch the Pecos movie?
You could go to Apple TV.
If we don't have Apple TV?
You could do Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
Okay. You
can watch it on our site too, but that requires the blockchain ticket. So don't worry, that's for a different crowd, to be honest.
Okay.
So that's not for.
So what is the title?
The title is Born in Denver.
The Pecos movie?
The Pecos movie. So it's 15 minutes in Denver, and then the rest is in Pecos. But we basically took a bunch of people from Pecos to Denver, and then they come back to Pecos. And it was shot over the course of 3 years. Oh yeah, the trailer would be helpful. Okay, and then I don't know if y'all could see that on your iPads, but we got.
You can.
Oh, you can? That's cool. All right.
Is it turned off?
So where are you based out of?
We're based out of Pecos and Austin.
Pecos and Austin.
Yes, sir.
Austin becoming a big movie territory.
It is. Odessa's still way cooler than Austin. That's for sure. They've lost it. They've lost who they were.
While we're in a pause, you might not want to disclose it, but filming in Odessa, have you had any titles that you've been playing around with? No.
We're no. Do you have a suggestion?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Give me 4 minutes, and yeah, but
Yeah.
What is the length on your roadmap? I remember seeing it, but what's the length of the process? A year or less? I mean, I just don't know anything about movies.
Yeah, so I would like for us to get our distribution deal done this year. I would like to, in the next 2 weeks be in New York, have it, and then be with Disney, see if they're going to do it. Because I think that's our best option to get y'all, on the Fox News or Disney. I don't think it's bigger than those two. But I would say we could get all the marketing and distribution done and then start shooting as soon as 2026, January. And then maybe release it for the Centennial shortly after that and have a huge community celebration with it.
Okay.
But it's hard to put an exact timeline on it, but we would go all in right away.
Gotcha.
There's the volume.
Found that noise.
I watch movies 24 hours.
What's the volume now? I can hear that.
This is the best kept secret in West Texas.
yeah.
If you look at Pecos, we are in the middle of what is considered West Texas.
This is the capital of West Texas.
How do we cryptoify it, like say Texas?
We gotta change it with the times. We got too much to have to do.
I feel like we're like part of the story of the evolution of Pecos. From cattle town to energy to now internet.
We compete with Saudi Arabia and all the main people who produce oil.
The oil and gas is here. And for how long? Who knows?
We can't just dream, but we can make dreams come true.
So why not Pecos have the big dream?
Saddle a horse up and go get it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
Sorry. All right.
Just a little scope.
And the cat lawyer was in it. He was the Pecos attorney at the time. I don't need not even get into that. Y'all probably know already about him. Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions?
Not that I have any questions, but I think it's something I've mentioned that for the Centennial we need to have some good documentary put in place, and then the building of the rabbit I think would be an interesting one too. So thank you for.
So this is workshop. We'll have to put it on the next agenda, which is November 11th, but we'll bring it for a vote on November 11th, and we may not need you. I mean, we'll reach out to you if we need you here, okay?
Okay.
We really appreciate bringing this.
I want to make sure I know what the ask was.
Yes,
2
sir.
million.
2 million.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I
2
couldn't.
million.
I didn't know if it was 10% of 2 million or 2 million. Okay.
Yeah.
2 million.
Can't get $1 million out of Kirk.
Yeah. Hey, we'll try for the red carpet. Maybe we can get George
we'll.
Strait here.
Good luck.
All right. Well, thank y'all very much. Really appreciate y'all coming in today.
Thank you so much.
We will get on the regular agenda next meeting.
Sounds good. Looking
Okay,
forward to it.
thank y'all.
Good to see you.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Agenda item 4 is discuss purchase of a striker cot system for $67,000. Daniel Chavez. Come up here, Chief Chavez.
Do it every single time.
Works. Mayor, council, thank you very much. Especially you. Welcome back, Councilman Luskos.
Thank you.
No, I just wanted to discuss the possible purchase of a striker cot. This was actually one of the items that was approved during the 25-26 budget. And one of the reasons I also wanted to bring it up for discussion is there is going to be a difference of $3,000. Well, let me back up. We were approved for the $64,000 in the budget, but we went over by $3,587.46, and we're asking that this can be reconciled with one of our donation accounts to make up the difference. The cot system is what we use to transport people in the ambulances. But I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, gentlemen, you used the other three out of your general budget?
Yes, sir.
That power stretcher and loading system, what's it, lifespan?
So it's considered a medical device. So typically 5 to 7 years is kind of the industry standard. Yes, sir. We try to align it with the vehicle, the life of the vehicle, so that way we're not kind of overlapping, and it just kind of makes more fiscal sense to do it that way. Yes, sir.
Any questions, gentlemen? If not, we look forward to having it on the agenda next meeting.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, agenda item 5, discuss the annual purchase of side loading refuse dumpers, open top containers, receiver, and compactor. Mr. Rodriguez, come forth.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Here to discuss the annual purchase of side loading refuse dumpsters and containers. And the breakdown will be 153 cubic yard dumpsters. Those are the ones you usually see in the alleys. And 50 of the 4 cubic yard dumpsters, and those usually go to the apartment complexes. 2 30 cubic yard open tops, 2 40 cubic yard open tops, and these are mainly the construction containers you see out at construction sites. So we're in 1 40 cubic yard octagon standard receiver, and 1 35 cubic self-contained compactor with a power unit, with a total expenditure of $201,157. This annual purchase is to replace dumpsters, containers that have reached deteriorated conditions and/or to add to new accounts. All expenditures is budgeted within the maintenance of other equipment or the solid waste budget line item. So.
All right, gentlemen, any questions?
Just one.
Yes.
Roll-Off USA, purchase from them, but the actual installation, taking the old ones off, putting the new ones on, who does that? Is that within Roll-Offs USA?
As far as like fabricating them or working on them?
As far as taking old ones off and replacing them?
No, we do that ourselves.
You do it yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's
Yes.
clarification.
Yeah, we just
Very
purchase,
cool.
and then the old ones we try to refurbish. If not, we just scrap them.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay.
So I'm curious about, I think, what does this do with the rollout carts that are going out through Mission and Lawndale? Like, why wouldn't we replace these with those if that's the goal to get there?
And we're using those, Councilman, for inventory, like for new businesses come along. We have to replace old dumpsters under existing dumpsters that are within city limits, or we have to refurbish them. So we keep those. We refurbish them. If we have to put new lids, new bottoms, we put them back and out in the field.
Right, but I'm trying to.
Yeah.
If the trend is going to be to go to the rollout carts, why are we buying new dumpsters? Why don't we give them rollout carts?
Well, a lot of them are going to be going to commercial accounts, and we're growing in that area as well. Yes, sir. And to the existing part of the older parts of the city as well. So.
Even if the whole city went to rollout, you're still going to have dumpsters for commercial business.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks, sir. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank you. All right. Agenda item 6, discuss policy on naming city assets. Councilman Stoker.
Well, I had asked to discuss this. We had certainly some items in the news about naming rights and whatnot, and I asked if I could see what our policy was, and my understanding is we don't have one currently about naming, renaming assets, whatnot. And so I just thought as a best practice, I reached out, UTPB, Medical Center, ECISD, OC, all have naming policies. Nonprofits I've worked with all have naming policies. So I thought it probably would be a good idea to discuss implementing a naming policy. I think that There has definitely been some confusion about how either streets are renamed or named. We've got parks that have names, buildings that have names. I think a policy would add transparency about the process. How do you do it? How do you go about it? It's cut and dry. Here it is. It either follows the policy or it doesn't. We keep talking about clear as kind. So without a policy, again, there's been some confusion about it. I do want to say that I did think that we would have already addressed Mr. Russell's topic before we got to this. So, you know, this is in no way meant to prevent anything like that from happening. This is just we don't have it, maybe we should talk about considering one in the future. So I did want to make that clear, that this has nothing to do with anything that was brought up, other than it came to my attention that we don't have a policy. Maybe we should have one. So I included naming policy for public assets, have some guidelines in there. These are things that over and over again I saw. I did some community polling that got back some answers on, you know, if you could name something, what would you name? What would you change? What would you do? A lot of the comments were, why do we have to rename anything? Why can't we pick a new street? Why can't we do new parks? And so I had something in here about, you know, let's give preference to naming a new asset instead of, I believe there were something like 177 residents on Maple that would have to change their driver's license, their bills, their businesses. Something we did talk about, I remember bringing it up during the Murphy discussion. Could we just designate a street instead of renaming it, like we did with Highway 80, Wilson and Young? I believe 191 is Chris Kyle, and I have a little attention over on the Loop with my father, but those are not named. It is not the Ray Stoker Jr. Loop. It's just designated that portion. Could we include that? And then really just putting in some time for tensions to cool down, should that be necessary. And then just a naming rights policy. Again, it's kind of like our donor policy. We've got a donor policy. I'm not going to take gifts of land, stock, livestock, you know, sell that stuff and donate the money, but just applying this as well to new assets going forward. And I think, again, with some of the things we've got going on, it's probably worth taking a look at. So it's my little pitch.
Have you seen any other cities that have a guideline for those?
So I looked at again, the ones we have, the nonprofit one, we've discussed one with the library. I'm on that board, what to do with the donations and the naming rights there. I have been sent the one from Medical Center and UTPB. They're trying to get me the one for ECISD to look to see if there are common threads about how names are picked. You know, certainly, again, as a jumping off point, I think it's worth looking at other communities, how they do it, other organizations. Certainly, we want to, you know, be fair and legal. But again, that was the point of bringing this, is that we don't have one. Maybe we should get one.
I don't disagree with that suggestion that we ought to have one, but it seems to me we ought to go some department. They ought to vet it or give us recommendations. I just don't know where to go with it.
I'm not proposing this to be adopted and signed and put into practice tomorrow.
There's really two different ones. There's one on, you know, naming assets, and one on really sponsorship or paying for name.
Right.
Either David or Keith, what department would this fall under that could look at this for? Is it legal? Is it? I don't know what it goes under. I don't know. You don't want it legal, but I don't know what it would go under properly.
Well, I'm only going to be here a few more months. It'd be very easy for me to say, yeah, I'll take it to legal. I don't really know, Mayor. I mean, that's not much of an answer, but I would think city manager's office could designate a department to look at it. I don't know. just how much of a priority is it for the council, and where does it rank in the priorities system?
Well, now, I don't think it hurts to have some guidelines. Instead of just people just bouncing all over the place saying we want this, we want that. I think we need to put some guidelines in for that.
I think it's fair to everyone to know what the guidelines are, so, David, would you point, there's two different documents, would you assign it to either the same department or two different departments to bring us?
Yeah, I'd say
suggestions?
let's start with the administration, take a look at it, maybe put together a task force, take some time to look at it, and bring it back to council at the appropriate time.
Okay, I think that's good. Appreciate it, Councilman Stoker. Thank you.
Mayor, I'd like to,
Oh, go
just
ahead.
to add a
Sorry.
couple points on there. And Craig, first off, this isn't the first thing that you have done instructively. Thank you, you know, for taking the time and digging into these issues. But a policy like this also, we're making a sausage. So I would like to give you some ideas, because I'm not sure if you're really aware that as I carefully read that, I'm just finding it restricted. So let me just point out a few things. Looking at the policy, naming policies as it stands, if this had been effective, say several years ago, let me show you what I'm talking about. We have some presidential streets out there. There's like Adams, Jackson, Lincoln, Madison, Washington. They're political figures. They're leaders of political movements. I enjoy driving down those streets. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. But under this policy, as it's written, prohibited or restricted names that are political. So in that case, those would be gone. Taking another example, we have a couple streets, Peter, John, and Paul, they're apostles. But under this policy, it states prohibited and restricted names, religious movements. Well, there's certainly religious movements. A final example on that is I supported renaming Martin Luther King. I was there for the ribbon cutting and everything. But under this policy, what would have happened? It says all naming and renaming actions shall reflect Odessa historical identity. So I'm just helping to balance,
sure.
with some other ideas too. So you take Chris Cowell, the Navy sniper, born in Odessa. But let's go back to Dr. King. He wasn't, but he's an American legacy. Dr. King's leadership in nonviolent resistance and his fight against segregation shaped the very values that we hold today across America. So the point is that this policy bans names tied to, as it's stated, political, ideological, or religious movements. Yet Dr. King's achievements were achieved through all three. His efforts inspired millions. And at least Dr. King did pass the other little rule in there that you have to be, after deceased, 10 years has to pass. So he made that one. So there's a few practical suggestions. This is just to offset it, because I think you're onto something. There needs to be some rules in place. Yeah. But I'm giving you another balance, another way of looking at it. Rather than making the process restrictive, let's make it clear to facilitate community and civic participation. Define the public petition numbers as needed. We don't have that in an ordinance. Establish clear public steps and procedures. Provide a guideline that the anticipated public financial contribution toward costs associated with renaming a street expressed as a reasonable percentage of total expenses. And just to add, the process for public petitions to name new streets as assets should be easier and a little bit harder for renaming existing ones. I agree with that, because it can be an inconvenience to the citizenry. So I'm just saying, let's craft some policies that serve the people, not policies that create government overreach, restrict public input, or stifle expression of our diverse community. We are one community, yet multicultural and diverse. Our naming policy should honor the diverse, ensure fairness, and encourage public participation. That's a key point, public participation. While the intent here is to avoid controversy, that's understandable, but creating a restrictive naming policy risks crossing into council overreach. We've got to balance this. Leadership should welcome open dialogue and foster a living community spirit that will grow and change organically, and this will grow and change organically over time. We've got to consider that just as well. So, thank you for the consideration as a balance, because it just seems too restrictive to me.
Right, and again, this is
And it's a
not
draft. I
intended to
agree.
be cut, print,
But
let's
again,
go.
thank you for putting some energy into it.
There is some public input that's in there, which would require more notice of those meetings, so that we would be sure to have the public. I total jumping off point.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's send it to, basically to city manager's office. Let him create a task force. Let them produce something for us to take a draft look at, and we'll move from there. How's that sound? Again, the supermajority for that, I thought that was too harsh, 6 out of 7. But again, let somebody else work that up and bring it to us for review and consideration. How's that sound?
But that supermajority, the way that was written is if you came to us and said, hey, I've got this idea that's outside of these bounds, we absolutely could vote on it. So anyway, again, jumping off point.
Okay. All right.
Council, we do have a speaker card.
Okay.
Jeff Russell, 3
Russell,
minutes.
please come forward.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. Good to see you back on the dais, Mr. Vasquez.
Thank you.
And, appreciate the opportunity to speak. I don't have a lot to add. I think Mr. Cannell and Mr. Stoker really covered a lot of ground there. You know, when I first saw it, I was concerned because, I mean, and the one most concerning part as I read that proposal, you know, it bans divisive figures. And I think divisiveness is often in the eye of the beholder. And I think Dr. King, to use an example, in his day, he was very divisive. He was right on a lot of things, but he was very divisive, and there were a lot of people that felt otherwise. And so I don't even disagree with the idea of looking to name new roads and not rename old ones. Even as we move forward with the Charlie Kirk Way to honor him, you know, we really don't want to do something that inconveniences a large number of people or cost a lot of money. You know, we even, you know, when we did that, and I kind of stood behind it to say, you know, if we can get this done, I'll cover the cost of all the re-signing, or we'll fundraise or do something for it. But because I felt that strongly about it. But I also understand the need to maybe look at other, you know, thoroughfares. Mr. Cannell and I had a conversation about this. I said, you know, I'd be open to those things. I said, as long as we don't end up with the Charlie Kirk cul-de-sac, which is 1 block long or something. But I think it ought to be befitting the effort that has been put into. You know, I brought a list of the people that had signed the petition we put up. 1,536 Odessans. There were about another 500 plus from Gardendale, from other places, but so I think there's a lot of support for that. I mean, Charlie Kirk, to speak specifically to him, I mean, he's a very important conservative figure, and I think as history has proven with Dr. King, I think it's going to prove a lot of things about Charlie Kirk's influence on our society, particularly on our college campuses. And so I think the importance of his historical figure will only grow, but I do think, you know, in our community, we try to work together. We try to find that middle ground. I think there's nothing wrong with having a policy, but I think we need to proceed carefully, cautiously, and we need to seek input from a lot of quarters.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Russ. We appreciate your thoughts. All right, gentlemen, let's go to. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Councilman Thomas.
You backed up, it scared me. My only thought about it was reading through what Craig presented was the city-owned assets, and of course, the first thing that jumps to my mind is a sports complex. That's a public-private partnership. Even though it's a city asset, that train's left the station. Those naming rights out there are going to be, you know, for private funds managed by the foundation. And so they really, even though we have authority over that, they still, those naming rights, the new operator will negotiate those contracts. We've already got Occidentals in progress. I guess, Mr. Stretcher, we do. We got Occidentals in process currently. So
Yes, sir. It's done. Basically, it's
Done.
back to the
Yeah.
foundation.
yeah, because they want to pay us. So anyway, but that's just one thing is I think we have to take into consideration too is that these public-private partnerships, that's kind of the new deal, and so that we aren't always on the hook. And that sports complex is a great example of that. So the new operator is going to, because I don't know what a baseball field naming right is worth. Do you, Mr. Vasquez?
No,
No.
250,000.
You're a little short.
It's worth what someone will pay.
Exactly. And so, anyway, we have a lot of opportunity there, and that money in that foundation is designed to go to be housed with the foundation for repairs and maintenance and over time. So those people who put their names on that stuff, and Paul Evans carpet would be a nice one to put on one of the soccer fields since they're going to be turf. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents worth.
No, absolutely.
So, because public-private partnerships, I think, in my mind, are going to be more opportunities like that than not.
For sure. And that's what we're looking at with the library. And that's come up in some of our conversations. So again, it's kind of top of mind.
I agree. Thanks, gentlemen, for everybody for their comments and their thoughts to help us make the best decision for the city. Let's go to agenda item number 7, discuss the water bills and credit card fees.
So I
Dave,
guess,
nobody's name's on it.
I guess this was mine bringing up.
Just maybe a quick update. How
Yeah,
about that?
that's
Okay, so the RFQ for the billing software should arrive. Everybody's aware of it. It's been out about, 30 days or something like that. Those come in tomorrow, Thursday. So those will be here Thursday. Then we can vet those RFPs at that time, and then we can take the next step of selecting a new company for the purpose of billing and customer service and meter reading systems, if that makes sense. So that's really where we're at on that process. Just to let you know, it's not a quick process though, right? So once that RFQ comes in, then there's the implementation of that software, which could take up to a year to transition everything over.
Okay.
Well, may I ask, have we slowed that down where people are having problems with the bills?
So folks that are,
slowed it
so
down?
if anybody having and we're getting those as they come in, so folks that might have a problem with the bill, a lot of times they'll reach out to a council member.
Yeah.
And then what they do is they forward that over to me, and then we try and work with them on maybe one of the issues that they're having. Sometimes it's as simple as going out and testing the meter right there in front of the customer, and then turning it off on our side so that they can see that the meter is not running, and then turn it back on. And sometimes it is running on their side to indicate that there is some unknown usage on their side. What it might be, sometimes it is a leak. Sometimes it is not a leak. Sometimes it is an RO system that's stuck in dump cycle. Sometimes it's a toilet that is just continually running that might be in a separate bedroom that they don't see that often. Sometimes it's an irrigation issue or something like that. But we try and work with them to find out that issue. What we can do internally, but they're not able to do yet. That's what the new software, for instance, there are some new softwares that we're looking at that people would be able to log in and see real-time use. They can't do that right now. We can see it on our side. So oftentimes, again, when someone calls, we'll say, hey, looks like between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. you're using about 1,800 gallons, just as an example, over the course of a couple hours, which usually indicates an irrigation issue, right? They're watering maybe more than they thought they were. Sometimes it's on and they didn't even know it. So we try and just troubleshoot with people trying to find solutions.
Gotcha.
Mr. Smith, the agenda item also mentions credit card fees. What's behind that?
Was that something you wanted to bring? Currently,
Well,
we
there
have like a
was-
5%
there's-
credit card fee.
Right, so, if you come up here and pay your bill, you get a 5% credit card fee. If you pay it on our website, you don't. So I think the budget this year is about $500,000 to cover credit card fees.
I don't
City
recall,
pays
but
that or the customer
City pays that.
City
Yeah.
pays it.
yeah. So that might dovetail into what we had talked about again, which is a total fee schedule, which finance
Right.
is working with other departments right now to create a complete fee schedule so that the council could see all those fees out there, including things like a credit card fee.
See, we need to change
Yeah.
that, cause like in my spot, the customer pays the cap, so we need to find a way for the customer to pay it or cut it out.
I think we all can agree that it's probably not fair for the city to have to
City, yeah.
absorb those charges.
Nobody else is. That's
No,
for sure.
yeah, nobody else does.
So we need to
Sure.
figure out a way to make that
Well, we
transition.
can certainly do that. Again, I think probably the most appropriate place for that would be in the fee schedule, so that again you
Okay.
can see
Sure.
what those are,
The-
along with a whole lot of other fees out there that you might not even be aware of.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's update, I think that's the key we're asking is to update that, and again, if it's gonna cost you that percentage at the front door, it ought to be the same if you do it from your computer at home or whatever.
Very good.
Another thing I want to make sure of, so the water bills, but the sending out the bills, I've had several people reach out that, I'd mentioned that we spend, $600,000 on printing and mailing bills. So how do we trend towards getting everybody an email bill? And I had several reach back out that said, we signed up for email, but they still mail me a bill.
Yeah.
So, and I'm one of them.
So-
Mr. Russell's one of them, I think. Mr. Rhodes is one
So I
of
can
them.
certainly get with B and C to find out, obviously, where that disconnect is.
Yeah.
Someone has signed up for e-billing online. Why am I receiving a paper bill? That's obviously the point of the.
And I would say, I think the message is clear. It's pretty expensive for the city. In the next year, I'd like to phase out and go everyone to get email address, and that will save us over $500,000, $600,000.
$1.1 million right
$1
there.
million right there.
So whatever we need to do to get that moving
Pushing,
that direction.
yes, sir. So pushing out the e-billing, I think, would be an appropriate step. And then also, again, when that software comes out, I do believe it will be more user-friendly
Oh, for sure.
to where it looks similar to, let's say, your electric bill does on your phone or your gas bill does on your phone. And I think that will be a better platform as well.
Yeah, I sat in on the meeting and I enjoyed the conversation and giving preference to the e-billing. I said, when I worked for AT&T, you got a discount. If you signed up for e-billing, you got, a certain number off. If you signed up for auto pay, you got another certain number off. So I think we can incentivize that a little bit, but I know one of the pieces of discussion was that the preference in new accounts would be, you've got to opt in to receive the paper bill. So, and I know that gets pushed back on, well, what if you don't have an email address? But I mean,
Most do.
come on.
Most do.
All right. Thank you.
One question.
Go ahead.
It could benefit people listening to this, because my question is, sent you a water issue this morning, but I've always found, is it on our side, is it on their side, that type of thing? And if a resident actually calls a plumber, it's costly to look
Sure.
at.
And
So my question is, and Alex, Utility's sitting over there too, for an ear up on this question. So if you advise a resident to turn all the water off in their house, give it a couple hours and go back out and record the meter previous to that and see if it had moved, how much time would you really have to give? An hour, 2, 3, 4, 5? It depends on the size of the leak, I know. But
probably
to-
not that much time, actually.
Just to check the
So-
meter and see if it's
so for
moving,
instance,
to eliminate that.
ju-
That's free to do.
Yes, sir. So just last week, and Rogelio sent some team members out to somebody who was having an issue. And again, we didn't say it was a leak because we don't know that. We can't know the individual habits of a consumer, right? We don't know if they have a leak. We don't know, again, if their RO system is in dump cycle. We don't know if there's a leak in. We don't know if they're just using water, for instance, as irrigation, and they're unaware of it. So we don't like to use the word leak because we don't know. And we know that there's maybe unknown usage, but we can't say leak because that keys them in to say, oh, I need to go get a plumber. And we can't answer that question. We don't know. But we can go out to the customer. And again, we can turn off our side of the meter, if that makes sense. And that way we can show no water's going through it, right? None's going through it. Then we can turn our side back on, and all of a sudden that water meter is going, and we can see very little water going through it. I mean, you're talking, if there's just a little drip in the house, that meter is going to be able to read it. So then sometimes they'll go in and they'll maybe make some adjustments, and then all of a sudden they'll come back out, and all of a sudden there's nothing going through the meter. So they've maybe addressed it. Again, was it with they reset their RO system, or they fixed the flapper on a toilet, something like that, and then all of a sudden there's nothing going through there. But by turning our side of the meter off, we can prove that obviously nothing's going through it. And then when we turn it back on, if there's some issue on their side, it will show just like immediately. It's not where you have to even come back an hour later. It's immediate.
Okay.
So I did have a follow-up. So it is not our policy when people call in to tell them they might have a leak?
We should not be using the word leak. So,
Okay.
And that is, so if that is done, they need to be retrained on that, but we shouldn't be saying you have a leak. We should be saying there's usage. We might not know what it is. It's unknown usage, but we can't use the word leak because, or we shouldn't use the word leak, because we don't want to tell someone that they need to go get a plumber, because it might not be, they may not need a plumber. Again, they may just need to reset their RO system.
Right. I'm glad to hear that.
Or adjust their pool pump, something,
All right, thanks, Alan.
You bet.
Appreciate it. All right, gentlemen, I entertain a motion
break.
to adjourn.
So move.
Motion by Councilman Vasquez, or second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Thompson. We're adjourned at 1:56.